Welcome to the beginning of the podcast on a Wednesday, which is fucking up everything because we only record podcasts on Tuesdays and it's now Wednesday. So this one will be totally different. And also, it's pretty hard to follow up the Freedom episode.
That was a good episode.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone loved the Freedom episode. It must have been the freedom part of it. Like the freedom part of it must have been the part that people loved. It just, I don't know. Props to Andy Mulder. He fucking crushed that shit.
Yeah.
He really did. Now I'm back to the whole story thing that doesn't work on Instagram. So I posted the what should we talk about on today on stories. Do you guys want to go through these?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. First one. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
From Beyond the Lawn. If landscaping came to an end, what would you do for work, Mike?
So I would assume then I couldn't do what I'm doing online right now with all those things because they would be
Because
useless.
it's all landscaping. Mike, you are fucked.
Yeah. Everything's gone down the drain for me then. What would I do? I would probably find something else to do with physical labor and probably just repeat the same process. So I'd probably get into like plumbing or electrical, something like that, and then just kind of follow the same route.
I don't think that those things have the same level of online presence. Maybe they do, and I just don't know it. I don't.
Yeah, I've
there
always
like
wondered,
is there
like
like
the
a plumbing
community, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
there must be. There's got to be. If not, that's a blue ocean, so to speak, to step in there for somebody.
Chad, what would you do?
Well, we're a stone's throw away from being excavation contractors. Does that count? Or you can't be an excavation contractor?
No, I
either?
think you can. I think that's fair. Like that's not landscaping.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do some digging and some trucking and turn ourselves into sort of a paver prince style business where we truck some stuff. And
I know what I would do.
what would you do?
I fucking know. I would become a meth addict, then find a guy who's a cokehead, and then I would fucking get in the fill dump business. That's what I would fucking do. Then I would run hundreds and thousands of trucks into really good fill dumps and fuck them up. That's what I would fucking do. If I was so inclined to not be landscaping anymore. I might think of that as an option.
Would that set you up money-wise, like to live, or just enough to support your drug habit?
I think it might only set you up to support your drug habit. Not sure. I'll let you know in a week.
Wow. You got a big week coming up, I suppose.
Oh, I don't. But you just asked what I'd do if there's no fucking landscaping. And I'm like, this is what I'd fucking do. Goddamn right. Seems like a fucking realistically, if there's no landscaping, I would probably do the trucking. I like trucking. I like doing it.
Yeah.
I like even though the trucks break and blow up, but fucking are just generally a pain in the fucking ass. I still love it. So there you go.
I was on our overpass job this week, and I was there with my partner's best friend, who is he has his trucking license. He's got his ARZ, same as me.
Okay.
And their dump truck driver, which has his DZ. And it came time to float the 14-ton shovel from one side of the bridge to the other. And Mike, I said, well, how are you going to float it? You don't have an air brake trailer license. He goes, well, that's sort of a gray area.
It's not a gray area.
I don't think it's a gray area. He's like, well, I'm going to use this excuse. And then he talked about how it was grandfathered in or something like that. And I said, why can't the dump truck driver float it? He's like, I'm not a float guy. I'm just a dump truck driver. And I'm like, well, that seems sort of silly because I'm a landscaper and they do all sorts of shit. I'd figure a truck driver would want to be able to do all sorts of shit in their line of work too. I didn't know there was such a segregation between like a transport driver and a dump truck driver. Like, do they not associate? Do they?
I think that a lot of it suits certain personalities.
So it's just like some excavator operators won't leave the excavator.
But
same sort of thing.
It's like saying if I'm an excavator operator, I'm a dozer operator. Some people do both, but a lot of people
Yeah.
only do one.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's
right.
how I
never
would
thought
look
of
at it, Like
Mhm.
Cody loves being a hook truck driver, but fucking hates being a triaxle driver.
Yeah.
Like she does not like it. She likes the hook truck for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I do both. I don't care.
Yeah.
Christy has never even driven the fucking hook truck. I think she would. But Darian drives the triaxle. He also will drive the hook truck if he has to. He floats all the equipment. Like it. Some people don't like floating equipment. It's a lot of this floating equipment is stressful, man.
Yeah, I can see that.
You got to chain it. I mean, everyone pictures them floating equipment. They're like, oh, I'm gonna float this fucking skid steer or a skid steer and a 4-ton. They don't dream of floating the tractor and wagon shit that Darian does that fucking doesn't even fit on the float, can't get the fucking ramps done up, fucking rubber tires bouncing all over the place, or the big rock truck that he puts on the 30-ton float.
Yeah.
People don't dream of floating that motherfucking shit. So I think that's part of being the float driver's job, right? Like
Yeah, I
you
suppose.
gotta drive the fucking
It's
what
a
was that
different
thing?
bag every day.
Yeah. And yeah, the one day he was floating that Zoom boom thing that was crawling and walked off the fucking trailer. Like it's not his fault. Like, you're floating, you're doing all kinds of weird shit. You got to be a certain personality to do it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you got to put your foot down and say, I just don't do that. Like,
I don't do
there's
that.
stuff that Darian floats that Christy wouldn't float because it's just who he is as a person. Whereas Christy's
Makes sense.
skid steer, excavator. And then some people love dump trucks and the whole rhythm of it, like getting filled with dirt, and some people fucking hate it. I would never want to drive a flat deck truck, like hauling pavers. I look at the
No.
guys doing that shit, and I'm like, why are you doing that? It just like there's so much strapping and unstrapping and fucking and hooking the forks and undoing the moffat, and it just seems so. I'm like, wouldn't you rather just drive a dump truck? But those guys doing that, they don't want to drive a fucking dump truck because they could. They
Yeah.
want to drive a flat deck truck for whatever reason. They love Moffats, I guess. They do have that cool sort of vertical steering wheel. I don't know. I've never driven a Moffat. Maybe that's the fascination with it. I don't. I can see. I do see what that. I see what you're saying, but on the flip side,
the Moffat's pretty fun.
Oh, have you driven a Moffat?
Yeah, they're lots of fun to play with.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. I don't think it justifies getting into that line of work, but
we were tying down. I had a bunch of armor sewn on the float yesterday, and we had like 5 straps going all different ways to hold this stuff on. And one of the guys like, "That's good." Like he goes, "At least you're not going far." I said, "What kind of fucking excuse is that to tell the MTO when you get pulled over?"
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going very far. Like
that was the classic excuse at the supply yard. I'm not going far. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm
Load
not
me
going
up.
far. Yeah.
It's okay to slaughter people within a kilometer of the landscape supply yard. Under that basis, people should never drive within a kilometer of the landscape supply yard. There's a lot of people not going that far in that area.
Yeah.
I guess far is a relative term, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've had people come in to like buy brick from us or something, and they'd have like these little single axle trailers, and they'd put it on. Do you think I can make it home? I said, I don't know. As soon as you leave here, it's not my problem.
Get off my property.
Get off my property.
Yeah. Get off my fucking property. Are you guys ready for question number 2?
Yeah.
Also from Beyond the Lawn. Mike, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
Ooh, in 10 years, I'll be doing the same thing. Hopefully finally have my first employee. No, not my first employee, but actually have an employee that's sticking with me. No, I would like to have 2 crews going. I would like to have a lift and relay crew, maintenance crew, and a design build crew, and have that nice and stabilized. I don't think I want to get to more than 2 or 3 crews. And hopefully in 10 years I'm stabilized at that point, that I'm got some systems and processes in place there. And then we'll see kind of where the online side of things go and see where that's at like in 10 years, because I'm sure that's going to change with AI and everything that's coming down the pipe there. So that'll be interesting.
So 2-3 crews. All right, Chad, what are you doing in 10 years?
The exact same thing I'm doing now, unless I fall ass backwards into money. Don't have to do this anymore. Just looking at the board, I don't have quite enough work to last me for 10 years up there, so we're gonna have to pick something up. More of the same, I hope. I don't know. I'm not sick of it just yet. At what age does it start to curdle?
PK.
I feel
I
like
don't know. That's a
PK
great
would be
question.
the man to answer that because
Uh,
things have just about curdled between
it's
when we
curdling.
started this podcast and now.
Yeah.
For PK at least.
I don't know. Maybe I'll be dead.
In 10,
I'm 50 and I really don't take care of myself.
I think the correct answer to this for all of us was that this podcast has exploded.
Take
We got millions of downloads each episode, and this is our retirement plan.
We have to start with one sponsorship. Or
Yeah.
think about
Maybe we should
retiring.
ask for sponsorships.
What's that?
A guy, I can't even make this up. A guy of the many people that called me today, this guy called me that I've known him for maybe 10 years. He used to be a rep for the Rhinoceros company. This is 10 years ago. Anyways, he's a good guy, but he calls me, he's like, Mike, how you doing? I said, I'm good, man. How are you? He said, I got a deal for you. Can you help me with something? I said, sure. You know, he's always been good to me in the past. He's a nice person. He said, I just brought in a sea can of diamond blades. I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
Can you help me?
That's like the worst sentence you could say.
With these diamond blades. And I was like, bro, I can't even. I said, I guess. I said, bring them over. I'll fucking check it out. Like, I don't know, bring me a diamond blade. Let's check them out. I want to say to him, because he has a secret of the perhaps the market is saturated. I should have said, what's the discount?
You should have said you're going to have to get real aggressive real quick if you want to hawk these blades.
I thought maybe I'll get a couple and we could discuss them on this podcast. See if he wants to sponsor it because we've had so much success with that in the past. Yeah. I was like, man, really? Just, fuck. Okay. There's nothing bad about them. It just was such a, on all the top of the many somewhat shitty things that have happened to me in the last 48 hours, the fucking diamond blade thing. I was like, man, this is amusing. I love it. This is why I live. I live for this. In 10 years, I see myself with a sea can of fucking diamond blades. That's what I see for myself. We're gonna call them the PKs.
How many blades are in a sea can?
I don't know. A lot. Is it a 40-foot sea can? Is it a 20-foot sea can? I don't know.
I think either way, that's way too many blades to have purchased.
That's the one thing that I've always like. So, I mean, even on a heavy year of cutting, unless you're cutting a lot of natural stone, but on a heavy year of cutting pavers, I've been through some heavy years of paver cutting where it was a grind. Like that's what we did. We cut pavers day in, day out. I don't remember going through more than a couple blades a year.
No.
Do you guys have this massive consumption of diamond blades? Because in the marketplace, there seems to be an assumption that everyone is consuming 10 to 15 diamond blades a year or something. How many do you guys? I just don't consume that many of them. I said that to him. I said, bro, I didn't remember the last time we started a stone saw. You might need a different person than me. Plus, there's the whole dust issue. Like maybe I don't know. It just.
This is a blade heavy year for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we've bought 3 blades. And that's substantially more than we bought any other season.
How many saws?
2.
So you've gone through 3 blades on 2 saws.
Yes, but not from where. When somebody dropped a saw and fucking twisted the blade or whatever. So
I don't think
now,
that counts. So eliminate that.
well, then two blades. But no, I think you still have to buy the blades, right? So somehow they've been gone through,
Okay.
regardless of how.
You're saying
It's one less
someone-
blade in the sea can that way, right?
if someone takes a hammer to all your blades tonight, you're gonna have to buy new ones, and you're gonna say that. Okay, all right.
So then there's three less blades in the sea can.
There's 3 less blades in this. Maybe they should. What was that? 100 bottles of beer on the wall. 100 diamond blades in the sea can today. 100 diamond blades in the sea can. Yeah. One of those gets dropped in the saw. 99 blades in the sea can today. Is that what we're doing here?
Maybe people are just going really hard on the dressing stones. Maybe that's what's using up.
Should ask him how many dressing stones he's buying. I got a separate sea can of dressing stones.
It's a good way to sell diamond blades.
Have you ever used a dressing stone?
I have, yes. I have a dressing stone. I rarely use it.
What is the difference between a dressing stone and a regular stone?
It's more coarse or it's more dense to be able to expose the diamonds.
Is that the difference?
It's way softer. Like it's like
Oh,
cutting
is it
through
softer?
butter. Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's way softer. It's like cutting butter. Like
So if you go through, do you go through a lot of them then?
what?
Oh, I only have had one dressing stone and I've only used it like a handful of times.
What is the Okay, I have no dressing stone experience because it doesn't seem like something I would do. So what is the procedure with a dressing stone? Can we break that down for me? Like if you're standing at the saw that doesn't vacuum up enough dust to meet OSHA requirements, and you're there and you're ready to dress this stone and breathe in a bit of dust from it, what do you do with the dressing stone?
I just run it through the saw a couple times. Not like all the way through, but I give it enough that it goes through the segments. And then and that's
So you
it.
just keep cutting the dressing stone into smaller pieces?
No, you don't cut all the way through. I just go until you get to the depth of the actual segment.
Can you
and
make
then
a
stop.
video of this tomorrow and then post it on our Not Our Finest Hour and say
I've only used it with the IQ saw, and I don't use the IQ saw often, so it doesn't get used a lot.
the people in the neighborhood of old people have accepted dust in their lives? Just outright accepted it?
On the saw blade note, I've kept every single one of my diamond blades that I've used up. I've always thought that maybe I'll use it somewhere for something. I don't know what, but I've kept every single diamond
like
blade.
a really sharp, unfun frisbee.
My neighbor called me over. He says, I have this huge diamond blade. Do you want it? And it's all rusted to shit, but it still has all the diamonds on the outside. The thing was 24 inches from end to end. I'm like, I don't even know what to put this on. Like, you'd have to have a stone saw for your excavator.
How big are those concrete saws that you walk behind?
18s? They might be 20, 24.
Yeah, I don't even know. I walked by one.
The ones they cut out the road with?
Yeah.
18 or 24s probably. They're big. Did you find out if these are ethically sourced diamond blade diamonds?
Wow. Do you want? I feel deeply that he would come on this podcast to discuss it. Should we give him an opportunity? Like, there's nothing wrong with these blades. It's like, maybe we should give him a chance to come on and discuss it.
Yeah. Call him right now. What else do we have to do tonight?
I have way more questions, man. Like we're on like question 2. I don't think we even answered. We all answered question 2. I'm very positive we didn't. I don't think I did. I might be the one who let us all down.
Yeah, 10 years from now, where are you?
Oh, I said I thought I'd be dead.
He's a crackhead at the dump.
Right.
Are you guys accepting that?
I'm not accepting that as an answer. We need a better.
Where am I in 10 years? I will still be doing some kind of construction. Probably working for myself because I'm on an unemployable bum. But like, I'm not an employable person anymore. I used to be, but I don't think I am anymore. Like, I don't think I could hold down a job actively doing something. like I mean, because I think that this isn't really a job. It's a life. It's not like I don't
It,
think being an owner of a landscape company is a job. It's like I don't. I would probably be doing some. I could see me doing trucking and excavating, and we're getting better opportunities. I last week I was. This is commercial landscaping to a T. Last week at soccer in the dark in a truck, I was writing on a yellow pad of paper to work out to gather all these prices that we'd been doing all week on an opportunity that came by, and then gather them up and then put our prices in them and get them together. And then I took my yellow pad of paper. I got home at 10:30 at night, and then I typed it all out. And then Kelly sent it in because the tender closed at 8 a.m. in the morning or 9 a.m. or whatever time it was early. And when I totaled it all up, the job was $1.9 million. So,
yep.
and like, there's so much shit in the world that people are doing that isn't on a computer. Like, this is how we used to do it in the back in the day too. It was all yellow shit. Like, we would have jobs where we did a job for 500 grand and all that we had was one single yellow piece of paper and we did the job. You know, it just, because those are the opportunities. So, and I don't know, like, we actually got a call back on it. So I don't know, like, I just, like, I guess if we get something like that, that would change our whole company and change our whole lives, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I don't count chickens before there's a PO.
And sometimes you can't count them after the PO.
Sometimes you can't count those fuckers after the PO too. So the chickens escape and get out. So I don't, I get just, it's an interesting, I think I'll be doing something with trucking and landscaping, and I don't know if we'll be landscape. Like, I don't see us maybe doing residential landscaping. Like, we haven't done a residential landscaping job. Well, so I don't know. We did an asphalt regrind driveway, like a huge driveway and parking area. So is that landscaping? Or is that asphalt regrinding? It was residential. I don't like, is that excavating, grading? Is that drivewaying? I don't know what it is.
I have no.
It was good though. I had a good time. We had a good time doing it. It was a good job. All
What
right, you
about
guys.
what about Chad? Like your goals, you just said doing the same thing, but do you plan to expand or take on different types of projects?
Uh, I'm in a groove right now. I think we're okay doing what we do. More, maybe bigger, but I think unless I can find some more really skilled guys that I can trust, it's really hard to scale beyond this.
Right.
Or the headaches right now get out of our control. Like, we're waiting on $800,000 to come in right now in fucking money that we bankrolled for projects that are done and all this shit. And like, that's fucking a pretty big chunk of money for someone at 36 years old to have to wait on that much. And then you're shaking the cage, and when's the money coming in, and who's gonna pay, and like, why the fuck haven't you sent the check? And like, it's just
That part of the game is exhausting.
it's exhausting, right? Like, if it were as easy as doing the job, waiting a week, and the check comes in the mail, like,
If it was as easy as doing the job and waiting the 30 days and getting paid.
yeah, like,
Even if someone said you have to wait 60 days to get paid, I'm okay with that.
but as long as you know that you're getting paid at the end of
If
60,
I get
right?
paid on the
Yeah,
60th day, I'm okay
yeah,
with it. Like,
yeah,
to be honest, if someone says to me they'll pay me in 120 days and I take the job on, I take that job on with a plan to wait to 120 days to get paid.
yeah,
But you need to pay me on the 120th day. The problem is people say I'll pay on 30 and then don't. And then
yeah.
people say they'll pay 60 and then they don't. The problem isn't waiting to get paid. The problem is when people just never pay you.
There's a lot of problems. Is the problem.
Oh, there's a lot of problems.
Like, so the job that we're doing now, we're buying topsoil from this little joint down the road from the school, right? And he goes, well, can you pay us for every $5,000 of soil that you take? And yeah, that's sure we can, but I'm not going to see that money for 120 days if I'm lucky, and our topsoil bill by then is going to be $40,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
So I'm out that plus wages, plus the sod costs,
Plus fuel,
insurance, the whole shebang, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
maintenance costs on whatever machine payments. Like I'm out all that money before I see anything.
Tilt rotator, hydraulic fluid.
Yeah. Knock on wood, we've never replaced that. It's regular hydraulic fluid, but I think anyway. I
I
don't
have
have
no
this
idea what
fancy
goes in it.
EC oil thing.
What is EC oil? What does that mean?
I don't know. It's the
It's
special oil
Yeah.
they have. I think it's a different weight or something.
Encon responded to one of my somewhat derogatory tilt rotator posts. He responded to it, and I was like, "Well, just give me one. And it'll fix the whole
Well,
problem."
just give me one.
Watch how many spinning video. You want spinning videos out of me? You better give me a fucking tilt rotator.
You know what I think you could do? Did you see that spinning dump truck?
No. Oh
No?
no.
The box on the dump truck will go completely sideways, and you can dump off the side.
Oh, it seems like a good way to flip your truck over, but sure.
No, well,
The rock truck that Darian floats all the time, it does that.
it spins to the side.
Yeah, it's
I
like a
think
it's a big buggy basically.
Yeah, same sort of deal. I think that would be incredible. I think if you're safe about it, maybe it's not a topsoil thing or a fill
No,
thing.
I agree
Maybe it's
with
only
you.
a gravel thing.
Yeah, gravel would be a good idea
Yeah,
because
it's
gravel
pretty
comes out smooth.
Yeah.
You ready for question number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Majestic outdoors. Are decks considered hardscapes and how they work with patios? It's a good question.
It is a good question.
Is the bidet an electric toilet?
That seems off topic.
No.
Well, I'm saying
It's the same.
So you're saying a deck is a hardscape.
I'm saying it's not. Deck is not hardscape.
What is it then?
Carpentry.
So you separate so your 3 separations are softscape, hardscape, carpentry?
Yeah. I don't
And
think a deck
Is a poured concrete patio hardscape?
Is it stamped? Or is it just regular?
It's brush finish with diagonal cuts, relief joints.
I suppose so. Or is it just construction?
No, I think it's hardscape. That's my opinion of it.
So what about the footing below the deck? Is that hardscape too? Or is that construction?
Well, no, because I think that hardscape is an exposed hard surface. And that's why I'm kind of torn. That's why I'm kind of torn with the deck thing, because to me a hardscape but a hardscape can also be a vertical hard surface. If you look at a wall or a seat wall, that's also a hardscape, but it's a vertical surface. If a hardscape is made out of, like if you're looking at a backyard that's all stamped concrete, someone might say this is a great hardscape.
I got it. Hardscape doesn't need a permit.
Ooh. But that might be different from region to region.
What about a retaining wall that's over 3 feet tall?
Ooh.
That needs engineering. Does it need a permit?
It does in Oshawa.
Yeah. I know it needs
Cornwall,
engineering.
maybe not.
Maybe not. No, see, like whenever we build these big walls, we've never gotten a permit for them. The city's never propositioned us for a permit. They've just
even a residential one.
Why don't I say if you put a railing on it, you deal with it to the client. We don't usually build tall freestanding retaining walls that hold things back for
that front entrance that you just did. Do you just
that needs a railing?
Do you just tell the client that it's their responsibility?
Yeah. I'm not going to get into hiring a railing.
I'm going to Ottawa this
weekend.
weekend. I'll drive through Cornwall. Will I?
No, you won't. You'll go north at
so close
Prescott.
to Cornwall pizza, but so far.
Well, what are you doing in Ottawa? Are you going to soccer?
What do I ever do? I was in Windsor last weekend.
Oh, I thought you were going to look at a truck or something.
No, I'm going to. I did that. Yeah, no, we're going for a soccer. We were in Windsor last weekend, Ottawa this weekend.
Wow,
that's some kind of schedule for 15-year-old women's soccer. Look, Windsor, Ottawa. So I'm of the opinion that I fucking hate decks, so I can't say they're part of hardscapes. But on the flip side, they are hard. I like Chad's assessment, carpentry.
Carpentry.
I'm gonna go with Chad. I vote Chad. Carpentry. Hardscape, softscape, carpentry.
And it's not an insult. It's just
It isn't.
it's
I think
outside
it's,
of our trade.
I think it's acknowledging someone else's skill set. A useless, terrible skill set, but a skill set. A horrible, awful skill set.
Is it
But a
better or
skill
worse
set
if it's made out
nonetheless.
of
I'm just.
composite?
Well, is composite carpentry?
I assume so.
I guess it is.
Hmm.
Still hard questions. Hard question to answer. You guys ready for number 4?
Let's hear it.
What do you do if you're the have a beer guy? Should you bring beer for the client?
No.
You mean on your own job, you're cracking a beer
Well,
at the
yeah,
end of the
on
day?
your job, you're the let's have a beer guy.
Oh, like so something happening at your house.
No, on your job site. I think the question is if you're on the job site, what if the client isn't the let's have a beer guy, but you're the let's have a beer guy? Do you bring a cooler, set it up, and say to the client when they come out, let's have a beer?
Legend has it, there's this old fucking landscaper in my city, and he's absolutely a drunk, and his guys are of the low end of society,
Nice.
and they were building this hardscape job around a pool, and the client came home, and they were all drinking his beer and swimming in his pool
Perfect.
because he had said, "There's drinks in the fridge in the garage if you guys want them." And they took that as an open invitation to swim in the pool
That's
and
awesome.
drink the beer.
I think
But
I'm confident we've talked about this guy on the podcast before, but I used to deal with a pool guy who would show up every morning and pour half of his Coke out of his can. Pretty sure we talked about that guy before, but
he drove?
oh yeah,
Oh,
that's a
my goodness.
long time ago. That's how winning was done. When I first started in landscaping, the guy who drove me around, one of them, had lost his fucking driver's license like 8 times for drinking and driving. Because back then, when you said shit like, I need my license to keep myself employed, the judge would be like, keep your license and don't do it again. This was a long time ago, man. I guess I'm old.
I remember, yeah. We finished a big tree job in Ottawa for the company that I worked for, and they were cracking beers on the way home, like the whole way home. Like, is this normal? And I thought back, I'm like, probably just made $500,000 this spring. So I get it, sort of. I would never do it, but I get it. And this was a different time,
Well, yeah,
20 years ago.
I can remember guys digging a pool and they're driving by in the triaxles with the fucking drinking beers down the street in a residential neighborhood, fully loaded triaxles, fucking just hammering it down the street, full of kids playing road hockey. No one gave a fuck. Like that was back in the like, you better get out of the way of the truck because if it runs you over, it's your fault. Those days don't exist anymore.
Those are gone.
Those days are gone.
Now we're oppressed.
For some reason, my whole screen changed. Super.
Now you wouldn't even get that on the news. You can't get the news.
I got an alert on my phone. You are no longer getting Canadian news. I'm like, oh, good. Perfect. That's great. I did see a newspaper today, and I thought about buying it so I could get the news. And I was in the convenience store there, and it said on the front page of the newspaper, Trudeau picks fight with India. I mean, that seems like a good decision. What's going on?
Fucking winner.
That's all I read. So I don't think you should bring beer if you're the have a beer guy. I think you should have a beer at home when you get home. I don't think you should bring beer to the client. I think that's
gotta be an
that's
awful
my
idea.
opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I think that's sound advice. Yeah.
Definitely sounded okay. So, all right. Next question. You ready?
Yeah.
New Leaf Ottawa. All these positivities guys ask what gets you out of bed. What makes you want to stay in bed? I'll go first. Lawyers.
Ooh.
Anything to do with lawyers makes me want to stay in bed. I'm so fucking done with it. I'm so done with it today. I don't even know if you're allowed to. This could have been illegal or detrimental. I'm so done with the lawyers. Today I sourced out the president of one of the things we're leaning, and I fucking called the guy myself and went, "Yo, bro, this is unproductive. We need to deal with this situation. What do you think we should do?" And I had a good conversation with the guy who said, "I appreciate you calling me." I said, "Great. So maybe we can work something out. Maybe we can't. Maybe because we did get to a stalemate at the end of the conversation. I'm like, this is why people have lawyers. This stalemate here." I said that to him. I said, "This is why we need the lawyers, man. Because we're at a stalemate." He goes, "I don't know what to do." I said, "I don't know what to do either. I haven't been in this situation. Neither of us know what to do." He said, "You know what we should do? We should call our lawyers." I said, "You're fucking right. We should."
And you're all gonna keep
Back
on
to
doing
square
nothing.
one.
It's like this didn't, but it made me feel better, and I think it made him. And now we have a connection. We have a connection together because we never knew each other before. I said, "I'm sorry I had to do this to you, but it is what it is." So me and him got a connection together. But lawyers want to make me want to stay in bed. How about you guys?
Well, this week I realized that we did something the wrong, long, expensive way. Uh, that makes me want to stay in bed. So we're topsoiling the side of this overpass, right? And we're just about done, ready for raking. And I think, well, maybe we should get a price for a slinger to come in and sling the stuff that we can't reach. So my partner calls the slinger guy and he goes, "Oh, I meant to stop by your job site. I've done every overpass for the last 7 years in all of Eastern Ontario." He goes, "I slung the whole thing in a day." And, and we've been at it for 2 weeks.
Oh,
2 weeks of shovel work and trucking when he could have done it for $200 an hour in one day.
oh.
And I'm thinking, motherfuck, how much money did we just let walk out the door?
You know what's really funny about this conversation?
What?
I remember maybe a couple episodes back you brought this up, and I said you should hire a slinger to do that.
Yeah, and I thought about it. I'm like,
and you squashed the idea like I was crazy.
well, yeah, until I realized he could be lying to me. His productivity rate could be wrong.
That's
He
true.
could be fibbing a bit.
But even if it was
But even
wrong
if it took half the time, yeah. Like
he could be wrong by 7 days and still be winning.
right. Yeah. But I'm not mad about it.
As long as you made money, it's fine.
As long as we made money and it's a lesson, right? I'll know what to do next time.
Listen to Mike.
We're that much further ahead, yeah. Yeah. Or stay in bed.
Stay in bed.
I'd rather stay in bed than hire a slinger.
Chad, do you still get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym first?
5 a.m. gym for an hour. And then I've started running this week.
Wow.
When I got home from work, have dinner, have a quick run, and then realize I'm in awful shape. Oh my God, am I in bad shape? So we're working on that.
That keeps me in bed, thinking that I should work out before I go to work.
Really? Like it's
I hate working out. Yeah, I hate gyms.
Why?
There's no productivity. Like
what do you mean?
You pick a weight up, you put it back down in the same place that it was. There's nothing being built. There's nothing being done.
You're building your arm muscle.
You're building your body.
Yeah, I can't visualize that.
It's more than anything, it's productive maintenance, right? Like you're maintaining your body so that you don't get to 50 years old, say, and
Thanks, Jeff.
kidding, like no, it just keeps you lubricated.
I'm not lubricated. I'm in horrible condition. Like horrible. Struggle to walk.
Struggle to walk.
I do. I'm not good at walking anymore. I'm not good at I'm fucked. My hips fucked. My knees are fucked. My back is fucked.
Do you think that could have been prevented if you did a little working out throughout your younger years?
I did. I lifted weights really heavy till I was maybe 26, 27. Then I hurt my back really bad, and I had a choice of either going to work or going to the gym. And going to the gym paid like this podcast. So I stopped working out. Yeah, I used to be a fair size. I used to bench like 300.
Wow.
Which is a lot. It sounds, I know, in the great like
No,
benching
that's still a lot. Yeah.
but
PK,
that
do you have childhood photos?
yes, I'm not sharing them. I have one very class. I think all of us should share one classic childhood photo on
I
our
think so.
Instagram. I think that would be. There's one in
How
particular.
childhood? Like how young?
I don't
Before
know.
before high school,
Before like elementary school or like
middle school, something like that, or younger.
I don't.
I don't even know where I'd find one of
Have
those.
we ever talked about this? If we have, shut it down. But I was like involved in a like a murder case, and I had to testify in court and pick out witnesses, and there's a whole thing. And when I was young, when I was in grade 9, and so the police record you whenever you're in with them doing these sessions. These like they record you and they record you and they record you, and then the case didn't get like solved, or it kind of went dead and silent, and then I don't know, like 10 years later it resurfaced in my life when I was like, I don't know, 26 maybe. And so they want you to testify, and the whatever, the crown attorney brings you back in, and they're like, we need you to watch they're prepping you for court. Like, we need you to watch the tapes of yourselves to refresh your memory. And I was like, okay, cool, sure. So this is I was like in like grade 9 when this shit went down, maybe grade 10, and I'm watching this tape of myself, and I've got like long hair, but it's all shaved underneath, so you could do like that ponytail thing. I'm wearing a polka dot dress shirt done up right to the collar, because that was like this when I was a kid. People had these polka dot shirts; it was a big deal. And I'm just watching I think my hair was kind of bleached, and I'm watching myself going, man, no wonder I didn't get fucking laid. And I'm just looking at this videotape of myself, and I couldn't get past it. And I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be focused on what I was saying, because I don't remember fuck all from 10 years ago. Like, I have a recall of it, but not a clear memory. I'm watching this tape. I'm just like, but all I could focus on was the polka dot shirt and the strange haircut. I was like, man, I am such a fucking loser. Watching this tape over and over again, going, fuck, I am a loser. Anyways, I couldn't get past it. So this is an aside story that has nothing to do with contracting and landscaping, but it was just that seeing those old pictures of yourself, but seeing yourself on video from 10, because video wasn't a thing back then either. Like,
Right.
people didn't have cell phones. There wasn't even fucking pagers when that shit went down. So like, people weren't recording everything they did, and there wasn't 8 million Instagram videos of yourself, and people weren't used to seeing themselves on camera unless you were like a TV star or whatever. So watching this video of yourself, you're like, oh my God. Plus it, for me, it added at least 50 pounds. It's like, I am a fat polka dotted motherfucker. I am Pokeroo. I'm fucking goddamn Pokeroo. Watch this.
None of our American listeners will get that.
I'm fucking goddamn Pokeroo. And I'm like, what? Where was my brain? Because vastly different person at 26 than I was at 15 or 16 or whatever it was. Anyways, the whole experience was horrible, to be honest. But that was like, like, man, stupid videotapes. I can't believe I ever videotaped myself again after that.
Did they catch the guy?
Yeah, he went to jail for life.
I know.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was a good thing that I did back in the day. But whatever. Anyways, it's not something we should talk about on here. It was a long time ago. It was just, I was only referencing it only because of the stupid fuck, because Mike brought up the pictures, and I was like, man, I wonder if I could catch that videotape of myself. If I could get that videotape where I could just delete the sound because what I'm talking about is no one's business. But just to see the tape of myself, I think that would be a viral. That's a potentially viral video. Or, you know, that guy who's got the sideways leather hat, and he's like one of the memes. That
Yeah.
you know, it's like, and he's whoever that guy is regrets that moment. You know, I think that me in the polka dot shirt with that crazy haircut, being like 100 pounds overweight, because polka dot shirts do not make you look thinner. They don't. They're not good. They. I think polka dot shirts add weight to you. I don't think it's a good look for. Yeah, and it was black with thousands of white polka dots on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a style at one time. You guys were not into it. So
Yeah.
all right. What makes you stay in bed, Mike? Did you ever answer that?
Yeah, working out.
Oh, working out. And Chad, working out gets you out of bed.
Gets me out of bed, ready to roll for the
Wow.
day.
You guys think you can be on the same podcast when you're that opposite?
I
You
think
think
it
that
makes a
leads
better
to
podcast.
Well, then let's. All right, you guys ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Turf, surf, and stone. That sounds like a lobster and steak kind of thing. Like that. Turf, surf, stone. Turf, surf, and stone. Their question is: earlier in the spring, you said if you need that truck in August, then you should buy it because that's still hold true. I stand by my statement. If you need a truck in May, don't buy it. If you still need the same truck in August, buy the truck. I still think that's a true statement. I still think that's a good paver kingism.
Paver Kings.
Everyone needs another truck in May. Everyone. If you're running a landscape business and you don't need another truck in May, your landscape business is fucked. Or you have way too much overhead.
Mike, do you ever need another truck in May?
I'm going to send that quote to Caleb and claim it.
If you need a truck in May, and buy it. If you don't need a truck, if you need a truck in May, don't buy it. If you still need the same truck in August, buy the truck. The landscape daddy. I am a hardscaper. Caleb Alden, Andy Mulder. Definitely not favorite king. I think that statement's still true. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I suppose.
Thanks for that vote of confidence.
I always need another truck for some. I'll justify it to myself. Yeah, we could use that all the time.
Yeah. Today we only had one truck sitting around in the yard.
We have our big 750 Ford is out of commission because the headlight fell out, gone, like completely fucking gone. Like no fucking bulb, no harness, no beam, no fucking field bulb, anything.
Wow.
Just fucking gone, like an empty eyeball socket.
Oh,
and we
God.
brought it in, and we're like, we'll just put a seal beam in it, like it's ready to roll. They're like, no, it needs this and this and this, and it's like, fuck, should have replaced it when I saw it wiggling there. Instead of just leaving it, like I should have looked more into the problem. Now I don't know how big of a deal it is, but they called around, like, because the small Ford dealers don't have it because it's a medium Ford duty part.
Yes.
So they called this other Ford place, and he was on hold for half an hour. So great, I'm paying my mechanic to be on hold with this fucking guy for half an hour. And then he calls me and says, well, they're not getting back to me. I said, call this other guy. And they called another medium duty Ford guy, and they're like, oh, that's better. Can you go pick up the parts? So now I'm sending my guy in my truck for $100 an hour or whatever it is after fuel and all this shit to go pick up parts to bring it back to the mechanic to fix. It's a hell of a problem to get this truck back on the road. All because of that.
That seems to be one of those medium duty trucks seem great until you have to start finding parts and stuff for them.
Yeah.
They seem like really handy and really good until, like, all those GMC top kicks and stuff. People love them and they seem like they're great trucks until you got to find something for them because there's so few of them actually on the road.
Yeah, where's the dealer for these Kodiaks, whatever you call them?
You wouldn't have the same problem with your F550s.
No, because they're at a regular Ford dealership.
Yeah,
right?
And there's more of them, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of
absolutely. There's more. I would say next time around, if we need a single axle truck, we're probably going to go international or something. Just something that's easier to find.
International CVs.
Yeah, but not those silly ones with the small tires. Like the
Oh, you want to get some big rims and tires? Shocking.
no, but
Aluminum.
they're the same thing as those. So like GM did a split with International or something like that.
Yeah.
Where the Kodiak is the same as the CV or something like that.
Yes.
And they both have these big body trucks, but they're tiny tires.
You could probably get bigger tires though.
You would have to because they look fucking ridiculous.
Maybe
But
people just love them.
maybe they do.
It's the new style. It's like those
Yeah.
cars that the tires bow way out on.
Like a squatting dog.
People love those things, man.
Yeah.
People spend big bucks to build those things and then shred the rubber off it in 10 kilometers.
They must have more money than we do. I can't afford to do that.
They're not landscapers. There's that. They're probably running some kind of Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. Are you guys ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Lukescapes asks, is there a parallel between the volume of tilt rotators and the softness of our society?
Is there correlation?
Is there a correlation? Is a tilt rotator and the fact that you don't have to actually learn how to run an excavator, you can just spin the bucket 360, which is faster, absolutely. But there used to be a lot more skill in running an excavator because you had to accomplish the same things without being able to spin the bucket. Does that make for a softer society?
Chad, you've got to.
I'll go the opposite way.
Okay.
What's making society soft is these fucking operators that take their boots off and put them on a little mat beside their fucking operating pedals inside the shovel.
They love their shovels, though.
Fuck that. Fuck me. That I know it's like a whole mentality thing. You take care of your machine and all this shit, but that's fucking stupid. That to me, you're in, you're out, you're doing stuff inside the shovel, you're outside, you're fueling, you're greasing.
Yeah,
you're
but
really
do you think
using your machine.
But do you think those people are doing that are driving 8-ton Kubotas? Because people who run 8-ton Kubotas are in and out of those machines doing more shit than someone who's running a 40-ton shovel filling rock trucks all day in a quarry. Is probably someone who's more likely to have a little pad for their boots.
Yeah,
So there's a big difference between those two things.
I absolutely get it.
Yeah.
But if we're talking softness, I think that's what makes you way more soft.
Because people who haul gravel often have trucks that are like pristine hardwood floors. They wear Crocs
that haul gravel, like just gravel trucks.
Yeah, gravel trucks. So like those trucks, some of them inside are insane because all those guys do is live in those trucks for 13 hours. They don't get in and out of them. They don't. Whereas when you haul dirt, you're often climbing in the bed to fucking get the dirt out and so you're more like, I think it's maybe the application. I agree with you that it seems, but I guess it depends on if you're running a dozer and you're not going to get out of that dozer for 10 hours. You think if you're not wearing construction boots, you're still soft?
I think you're soft. I show up in construction boots everywhere. Like I'll go to student teacher meetings in work boots and a high vis, and
perfect.
This is just what you get. Just
this is me. You don't like it?
for the course with
you don't like it? Suck on my neck tattoo, bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
So today my kid told me that so they have a nap time and stuff, right? And the kids my daughter doesn't nap. She's 5 and she doesn't nap, but they have nap time. So the kids that don't nap, they go around, the teachers go around and they put like a little block, like I'm assuming it's a wood block or whatever, on all the kids so that they don't move. And if they move, if the block falls, they don't get a surprise or something like that after the nap.
Really?
My kid told me that. I'm like, I'm going to smack your fucking teacher. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, my God, the shit that they're teaching these kids. Whenever
the wood block.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
So they have to sit still.
Yeah, so basically they lay still or whatever.
Wow.
Right? It's like, this is
That'd be
mental.
tough for a kid.
And then I told her, I'm like, don't worry. When you're done school, you can be a landscaper and you don't have to follow any rules at all. Just look at Dada. And it put a big smile on her face. She's like, I can do that. I'm like, Dada doesn't listen to anybody.
As
She's like, that's
landscaping
awesome.
is the last cowboys in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone else is heavily regulated.
No one's putting blocks on us.
If you want to think about that as a metaphor,
Yeah.
if you're an electrician or a former or a fucking framer or a plumber or a roofer, there is harsh guidelines and standards you got to follow. Roofing is maybe a little cowboy. Electrical and plumbing is definitely not, in framing. And forming shit, you got to form it the right way. But like the amount of inspections landscaping goes through is zero.
Yeah.
That's how you don't hear about that. Like when you hear about scamming contractors in general, you don't hear that many. My electrical contractor screwed me. Like you don't hear that much. You do hear a lot of like, my pool contractor took 60 grand and never came back. Like you don't hear a lot of people bitching that the plumbing guy fucked them out of 70 grand. Like I don't remember the last time someone was online going, my plumbing guy gave me 70. I gave my plumbing guy a $70,000 deposit and he disappeared. I think it's a little bit less cowboy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So do you think there's a parallel between tilt rotators and soft? You're Chad saying no.
No. There's
Mike?
other things that lead to softness. That's it.
Mike, what do you think? Is there a parallel between tilt rotators and softness?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to have to agree with Chad.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say yes, because everyone seems to think I hate tilt rotators already. So, and then a bunch of people can DM me about this and talk about how maybe NCon won't give me a free tilt rotator now.
I mean, that's good marketing if they can change your mind.
I don't know who their Canadian ambassador is, but they should get off their ass and give me one. I will make a lot of spinning videos and eat my fucking words if they give me one.
If they can change your mind, that would say a whole lot for their product.
It would.
So
I think they should
who better
try
to give it to than the guy who hates them?
I think they should try. I don't hate them at all.
Oh, okay.
I said they're very efficient. You can dig a pool way more efficiently with a tilt rotator. 100%. I agree. But people used to dig those pools just as well with regular excavators. And I'm just saying, I think that knowing how to move that excavator the right way and doing it without being able to spin the bucket around and stuff is very, like, it's a skill that you don't have if you run a tilt rotator. Maybe you have a different set of tilt rotating skills. I don't know. Like Chad has forks.
Forks. They are
Did
incredible.
you like the forks?
They are incredible. They saved so much work. They came right on time, the exact day that I needed them. And the thing could almost lift a pallet. Like that's
how much are the forks?
A cat's ass. I don't know, $2,000, $3,000.
That's a good price. I like that. That's not. I'd buy that for $3,000. It looks handy.
Yeah,
it looks soft, but it looks handy.
I think you should extend an olive branch, PK, to the people at EngCon. And I think you should wear yellow hose wrap around your chain.
I'm gonna
for one day.
I responded them and said, I'm gonna get yellow pool noodles and put them on the fucking hydraulic lines on our fucking 8-ton.
There you go.
I don't know why this isn't spinning. This is fucking bullshit. The fuck is going on here?
That's good.